We would like to clarify a few things pertaining to the allegations and accusations and all sort of stories coming out by certain quarters. Yeah. So today I would like to give you a special interview for you to ask any questions pertaining to the matters related to election PRU 13. Jadi first of all, I would like to make some opening remarks. Number satu, there's been a lot of allegation made by certain quarters who are not happy with the election results. And to these people, EC would like to advise them to choose a proper channel. That is, file their all their evidence, gather all the evidence, and then file their objections or their dissatisfaction through the process of law. That means they have to file election petition, because this is the right thing to do, instead of going to the streets, continuing making statements which is unproven, which need to be proven in the court of law. So there is no point, because election has already been done and over. So now this is the time now. We have to move forward. And of course, if you are an aggrieved party, you are not happy with the way election was conducted, or not happy with the election results, I believe you must have evidences to prove your point, and compile all these evidences, line up your lawyers, and file election petition in court. Because number one, if we believe in the electoral democracy, the system of democracy, we have to respect the decision of the people. That is basic. If you participate in democracy, you participate in election, and after people have spoken, people have made their decision through the ballot boxes, and you refuse to accept the decision, and you choose to go to the street to protest at the expense of so many things, inconvenience to the people, disruption to the daily life, that is not good for the country and for the people. So I would advise these people, be sensible and wise, and choose the right channel of objection, that is, file election petition, and bring your evidence and all your proof in the court of law, and your petition will be heard and will be settled by court within 6 months. And if you're still not happy with the decision of the judgment of the High Court, you can still, within 14 days, file an appeal to the higher court, that is a federal court. And the federal court also is required to settle any appeal pertaining to the decision of the High Court within 6 months. So this is the right and sensible thing to do, because I think we have to respect the law, and we have to respect the process of law. So now election is over, it's done, the people have decided. You have to respect the decision of the people. This is what the democracy is all about. What I don't understand here, these people who went to the street, or rather who go to the street protesting election, telling all sort of stories and allegations about election, so-called election frauds and so on, The same group of people are the one who accepted election results in Pulau Pinang, in Selangor, And I'm very appreciative about the position of PAS. They accept the verdict of the people, they accept the election results. But for Pakatan Rakyat for PKR and DAP, they are now instigating the people to go to the street protesting outside the framework of law. Whereas in their own backyard in Pulau Pinang, they immediately accepted the election result and sworn in as kerajaan, as a government. The chief minister and the rest of the members of ESCO sworn in immediately. And in Selangor also, they accepted the election results. But the same group of people are going to the street, inciting the people, especially the young people, whom I considered as innocent probably, but because of being instigated, being fed with all the wrong information and slanders and lies, So these people, without going through the process of the way how election is conducted, they believe everything what their leaders say. So I think this is not good for the country, and they are causing a lot of problems not only to the police but also to the rest of the to the community, because if every week they start doing this, not only they put people in a very tense situation, but put the image of the country really in the bad situation, in the bad image. So now this is the time within 21 days for any candidates who are not happy, who would like to object, who would like to produce their evidence to the court about allegations of fraud and whatever reasons that they don't want to accept the election results. So within these 21 days, please file your election petitions, and the court will decide. The court will hear your cases, the court will call witnesses, the court will study your evidences, and the court will finally make the decision. And as I said, if you're not happy with the decision of the High Court, you still have an avenue to file the appeal to the Federal Court. So it is very, very clear what the law says. So I really don't understand why these certain opposition leaders are ignoring the process of law, instead inciting the people, poisoning the mind of the people to do something which is outside the framework of law. Okay.
Now, what is EC going to do to address all the accusation of the stolen elections? What is your action on this?
We have to respect the law. And that's why I just said just now that we will face these people in court. When they file election petition, EC will be the respondents. One of the respondents is EC and our returning officers. Of course, the first respondent is the winning candidate, the candidate who has won. And then the whole idea of petition, I think, obviously they wanted the court to nullify the result of election. So meaning they want the court to declare the election as null and void. So the first respondent will be the winning candidate, and the second respondent normally the EC and our returning officer. So we are not going to say anything much at this point, because we are going to give our evidence and to put up our position and stance in court. But at the same time, EC, the chairman and myself will keep on explaining the truth to the people, what actually happened in accordance with the way we conducted election based on laws and regulation. We will keep on doing that, because out there people are confusing the rakyat. People are making unproven allegation and accusation against the conduct of election, accusing us of frauds and cheating, So we cannot be keeping quiet. There is nobody else who will depend EC. EC will have to depend, or rather will have to defend ourselves in this matter. So that's why we keep on explaining, and we will come out with facts, figures and numbers, because that is what the only way that perhaps we can tell the other side of the story, so that the sensible people, the responsible rakyat will see the truth. So that's what we will be doing, and we will keep on doing this to explain to the people the facts of the matter, so that the people will have an opportunity to get the EC's version of the certain issues that been alleged or been raised by these irresponsible party leaders.
Okay, how are you going to sort out claims of fraud besides this, the court through the legal matters and so on?
Yeah, I think that's why I said these people who have been talking about frauds, number one, they have to file election petition, and the cases will be heard by court, and EC will be the one who will have to defend, or will have to justify whatever action that we did were in accordance with the requirement of the law. Okay. On certain things which is which need to be attended urgently, that's what we have been talking to the media now, when they thought about issue of indelible ink. So we have already announced that internally EC has formed a special team, a special panel, jawatan kuasa panel, is a panel committee to look every details of this procurement, the quality of ink, and the procedures, the process of applying indelible ink was conducted by our polling clerks, because we have explained already that that we suspect this indelible ink may have some problems in terms of quality, because the one that we tested when we prior to the election, when we decided to fix the order, we tested, the ink was really indelible, cannot be washed off or whatever. But after the advanced voting day, then we were shocked ourselves. We were told that the ink was washable. So that is something that we inside EC would like to go to the bottom of it. We would like to find out what went wrong. So that is being looked into by our special panel committee, checking. It's not going to be any cover up by this committee, because we want to be sure that everything will have answers. Will have to be answered. The quality of ink, the process of procurement, and then the process of delivery, pre-delivery testing, post-delivery testing. Every part of the process got to be checked now, got to be studied. So we have to be satisfied. What are the answers to the question that we had? And then we know exactly where were the faults. But again, whatever happened to the quality of ink is another question. The quality of ink is just to determine whether the ink is deliverable or indelible. But if the objective of using the ink was to avoid any double voting, even the ink, even without the ink, the process of polling in our country, the process of voting, has already been assured about effort to avoid double voting. That is the electoral roll used at the polling station itself. The electoral roll used at the polling station will be cancelled every time a voter came and voted, because everyone knows when a person comes to the polling station, his name will be said loudly by the polling clerks, his name as well as his my card IC number. Then it will be heard by the party agents, and everyone there will cross out the names. So there is no way for anybody who has already come and voted to come again, to come back and to vote for the second time. That is something impossible to happen. So the use of in was just an added element, an element to add to the situation to ensure that the people are satisfied, because this is as a result of the request by the political parties and NGOs, and then again approved as a recommendation by the Parliamentary Select Committee. So if that was what wanted by the political parties, EC had no reason to reject, because that is something made the people feel the election process was so transparent and to the satisfaction of the stakeholders and so on. That's why we took the trouble to get the budget, and then to go to look for the supplier and so on, fix the standard, get the approval from the Majlis Fatwa, and then get the opinion from the from the Ministry of Health and Chemistry Department, and we spent a lot of money for the promotion and things like that, to make sure that was used, or rather would be used in accordance with the expectation of the EC. So that was clearly, everybody knows how sincere the EC was when it comes to the implementation or introduction of into our electoral process. But again, somewhere along the line, we found out that the in was not at the level of quality that we expected. And then again, people came up with the procedural aspect was not carried out accordingly to the what's supposed to be. Like you have to shake the bottles, and you have to you have to dye it, you have to stain the finger not just once but 2 or 3 times to make it really thick. So these are the things. So we are checking now in our procedural documents, when our officers give briefings and simulation exercise to our workers, to our election people who are working at the polling station, whether all these elements were there or not, were included or not in their briefing. So we cannot just pinpoint, this has been not done accordingly to their what been told and so on. There is nobody can pinpoint anybody now, because EC would like to find out the truth behind it. So that's why we formed this special panel committee to do this investigation.
Didn't the ink come with an user manual guide or something like that?
Definitely so. But again, because things were taken so much for granted, I think. I do not know. I don't want to jump to a conclusion until we panel, EC will get the reports from this panel committee's investigation. So that is indelible ink. But again, I would like to stress the point here is, there was no way for anybody, for any registered voter, to come back to the polling station to vote for the second time. It is impossible, because once a person has voted, his name will be cancelled, and his name is not appear in any other polling station, because the system of registration of voters in our country, a person will only be registered once on the electoral roll. There is no duplication of registration, because we use the 12 digits IC number, my card, as an identifier, and it is a unique identifier, because a citizen will only be issued only one identifier, only one 12 digits my card number. There is no way for the National Registration Department had made a mistake issuing the same identity card number to two people. So that is something that we have to trust the computer system, the application that been developed not only by the National Registration Department but also by EC.
So the ink isn't a factor which contributed towards the fraudulent election, or any allegations on that?
Yeah, they are using EC as a thing that they said what they call there was fraud in election. But again, I said, when you thought of election, a person came and voted, and his vote are counted. That's the most important thing. And every registered voter could only vote once. So even if the ink is washable, the fact of the matter is that the objective of using the ink is met. That is, nobody would be able to vote for the second time. So the issue of the ink, I think it has been exaggerated so much to the point to say that it might be the reasons why they lost the election. It's definitely not so. It's got nothing to do with the ink. But if they said the EC was not implementing what we told them before, in other words, we didn't do what we preached, that one is acceptable. Because that's why we informed this panel investigation team. Because we ourselves were shocked, were surprised why this thing happened. But if they accuse that because of the ink, then they lost the election, I cannot see the justification at all. There is no connection at all. Because the person who came and voted, they came only and voted once. Each voter came and voted once, and then their ballot papers were counted, and the results in accordance with the requirement of law. That is, the number of ballot papers in the ballot box is tallied with the number of ballot papers issued to the voters. It's all this countersigned by the counting agents. At the end of the day, when the counting is completed, the counting agents of every candidate countersigned the forms. That shows that everything was normal. So there is no connection about a person lost in election because of the ink. So they have to really understand this. So the issue of ink been exaggerated at all these illegal rallies are all been exaggerated to convince the people, to incite the anger of people, to accuse that the PR party lost election because of the ink. Whereas if you use your ingenuity, use your intelligence, use your common sense, there is no connection at all. Okay. So that is one point. The other point that they were talking about foreigners coming to vote. That is something insult any Malaysian's intelligence lah. You know, how can you thought about 40,000 Bangladeshi get themselves on the electoral roll? They are not citizen. If you know how the national registration issued citizenship, you know. It's not easy. It's not just anybody can just I think it's not fair to the government, to the Home Ministry, to the National Registration Department, who has been so strict in giving citizenship status to people. And now, because of you want to put up accusation, coming out with justification why you lost election, then you just simply say 40,000 Bangladeshi been given a kind of impromptu citizenship and then registered as voter. It is something unbelievable and impossible and insults intelligence. Really, it doesn't make sense at all. And nobody should entertain this kind of allegation, because something which it doesn't go along the normal thinking of people. So I think this is we can just wash away. And then why Bangladeshi? Why not Indonesian? Why not Nepalese, or why not Indians? Why not people coming from Hong Kong or whatever? So I think the person who started this kind of allegation, they just go to the stage and just simply talk, without thinking whether it makes sense or it doesn't make sense. So that one is, I think we don't think much about that, because it insults our intelligence lah. And then they were talking about the during the process of counting, blackout and so on. They were talking, and of course that if such thing happen on polling on counting time, at the time when ballots were counted, that was something very serious. That's why we quickly check with our state directors, who in turn check with the returning officers, check with the respective presiding officers who were busy doing the counting. We did not receive any reports about a blackout anywhere. And as I mentioned, everywhere, we did not receive anybody that go to the police report, go to the policeman and police report. Nobody, even the polling agents, the counting agents who represented the candidates or the political parties. Had there been a blackout, they would be the first, who will make noise, who will call press conference, who will go to the police report, who will go to the police station to make a police report. But on the 5th, I'm talking about on the 5th, until 5 p.m. on the 6th, within that 24 hours, there was no police report anywhere. But again, as I mentioned, people were talking about this one, and then it came out. I said already, blackout is actually a slander. Because if you see this thing, we are the one who have been doing this job for years, my officers who have been studying this thing. A lot of question marks about this picture. Number one, you see, in the trail, you hardly seen the ballot papers. Can you believe it? They started counting, assuming they counted. You don't see a ballot papers. Number two, the so-called these election workers don't even wear the tags, the passes. The procedure is every election staff must wear the identification pass. Number three, I do not know whether the girl was wearing the T-shirt provided by EC or not. Number three, you see this guy with the purple pass. Purple pass supposed to be given to the agent, to the party agent, and this guy is standing here helping to. He should be sitting here, and you see on the table of the so-called agent, plenty of stuff, as if the thing is already done over, and the presiding officer must have already left the polling station, brought the ballot box containing all the ballots on the way to the tallying center with the police, and the people there quickly arrange the whole process and reenact the thing. And you see all the media people here around. It's not within our procedure, our SOP. Nobody should be around when the process of counting took place. This is very well a kind of a stage managed thing, So we completely dismiss this as a kind of something which is they purposely reenacted this one to come out. When all these media people, and interestingly, this guy is wearing a blue pass. A blue pass is an party agent pass, and he was holding a lights with the help of this light to prove to show that this is all stage managed. We know this. You see, I told you. This is the color of passes for the agent mengira undi. The blue, the purple one. And this guy wearing this purple one standing here. Why he's standing here? He should be sitting here. And this guy can't be bothered at all why people taking the picture, because it's already done. It is all a kind of a reenactment of the thing. So, can you imagine how dirty these people were planning to discredit the process, to the point that they even which I use the word lakonan, you know. So I think I've discussed with my officers. We know exactly this is something which reenactment of the whole thing, you know, because a lot of things not within the procedural process, against the process, against the SOP. So that is the one. So they were talking about what else? They talked about ballot boxes missing. All the result came back to the what do you call it? Vote tallying center, and all the results were tallied, and all went through the process accordingly, smoothly, and the returning officer announced the result. Nobody shouting anywhere or making police report. They couldn't tally the result because the 3 ballot boxes were missing. Nothing happened. And at that particular night, the cyber troopers, you know, circulating all the news saying that the 3 ballot boxes missing here and there. Of all the places they were trying to tell, ballot boxes missing in Putrajaya. If they say ballot boxes missing in Kinabatangan or in Gua Musang or in Ulu Terengganu, I think people can imagine also. Or in Sarawak, because you have to ferry the ballot boxes by the boat and so on. In Putrajaya, ballot boxes, the voters only about 15,000. It's just about, I guess about 30 ballot boxes maybe less. Missing 3 boxes. They were just spreading the rumors like wildfire, you know, just for the purpose of to confuse the people, to incite the anger, so that the people will to poison the mind, so that the people said, "Wow, election bluff. There were cheatings, there were frauds, ballot boxes that were circulating. We should have won election. If we lost election, that means there must be cheating." So this is all is a very dirty game, you know. Very, very dirty game. I hope Malaysians use their common sense. Don't allow yourself to be exploited, to be used by irresponsible party leaders, you know, who try to destroy the peaceful environment and the harmony of our country. Election is already over. Let us move forward. If you promise anything during your election campaign, through your election manifestos, implement your manifestos. Don't just go back to something and then telling I don't want to accept election, whereas in Penang you already angkat sumpah. You accepted election result. In Selangor you accepted election result. And then you are still going to Kelana Jaya, going to Amkot Mall, protesting election result cannot be accepted. What kind of double standard you are talking about? It is a totally hypocrisy, you know. I don't understand. A very senior party leaders, you know, who have been participating in election for 40 years and have a gut, have a mind to do this kind of irresponsible thing. Whereas they know the process of election was conducted fairly in accordance with the laws and regulation. That's why they won 89 seats in parliament. They clean sweep in Penang for the AP. All the big names representing Barisan Nasional all lost election. BN lost. The PM, the leader of BN, the Prime Minister, campaigned so hard day and night. They couldn't even get Selangor. That shows how fair and free election in our country. It is the decision by the people. If the people decided to reject BN, that's what the election results tell us. So they are talking about popularity votes. That is not used in this country. Popularity votes used in the countries where they have a presidential system. The Republic of Germany, you see, or the France, these countries, they are using popularity votes when they elected their presidents, when they elect their members of houses, parliaments or whatever. You don't have popularity vote in Westminster democracy. In Britain, no popularity vote. In Australia, no popularity vote. In India, the biggest democracy in the world, 800 million voters, they don't use popularity votes. They use Westminster democracy, first past the post. Whichever party gets the majority number of seats, they are eligible to form the government. That's what the law is all about in our country. So if you don't want to accept this law as the basis of our election system and process, don't participate in election in the first place. Why didn't you boycott the election? And now they refuse to accept the election result. I challenge them, don't go to parliament to swear as a member of parliament. When the parliament convenes on the 24th of June, don't go if you don't want to accept election result. Let us see whether this 89 or 89, I think including past accepted election result. Thank you very much. But for this Pakatan, for this PKR and DAP, they are bluffing the people on the street and telling the people to protest the election result. Don't go to parliament when the parliament convenes on the 24th June, I think. You don't go. You boycott. Don't accept the result. And in other words, you are not a YB. You are not a member of parliament. And you will see the hypocrisy. It will tell whether what in Malaysia they say cakap tak serupa bikin, you know. You preach one thing, you do another thing. So that is something which we have to really evaluate. I appeal to all the Malaysians who love the country, who please read the law. You are intelligent people, educated group, you know, people who are now being influenced by these leaders, you know. Put the country, put your family, put your future. Don't do things outside the parameter of law. So, this is the thing. If these people, they may have their personal agenda. You know, they may have their own political motive for doing such thing and such thing. But we have laws in this country that we have to respect.
And how is EC planning to gain back the reputation that it lost during the election, in terms of, in the eyes of the nation, in the eyes of the public?
I think that is being exaggerated, overstatement, because I think the people who have been talking about EC lost reputation, I think these are the people who have been poisoned their mind by these people. If you say 50,000 and then 50,000, if you say 100,000 then 100,000, but we are talking here 28 million Malaysian. Out of 28 million Malaysian, we have 16.5 million Malaysian 21 years and above. Are they speaking on behalf of majority? So, I think they have been talking so much about EC losing the reputation, losing the confidence of the rakyat. But I think we don't have referendum in this country. If we have referendum, we know how many people will agree to have them gone to the street and demonstrating. I think if we do referendum now, I think they'll be completely, they will lose. Meaning majority Malaysian accept election results, meaning they accept that election was free and fair, and they accept the fact that EC has conducted our responsibility and function as stipulated in the Federal Constitution accordingly to the laws and regulation. And if we do the referendum, do you agree with people going to protest election result on the street, or whether protest of election result should go through the process of law, file petition? I think certainly they will be knocked out. So I think they cannot just be shouting there saying EC lost reputation and sending some youngsters coming to demonstrate in front here, asking for the EC chairman and deputy chairman to resign.
Next question.
Yeah, because who are they asking us to resign when we conduct the election result? And election was conducted free and fair in accordance with the law. If they said that election was not conducted in accordance with the law, file election petition. EC will be defendants, will be respondent. We will have to face them in court. There is no election in the world that don't have people who are not happy. Election will always have people who are happy. But when you are matured in electoral democracy, when you lost, you hold, shake hand, congratulations. That's what people should do. When you lost, if you don't agree, let us face in court. Not you destroy the country, not you poisoning the mind of the rakyat who don't even bother to read the election laws, who even didn't bother to read the constitution. These are the laws, the basis of how election was conducted. By just you listening, you sit down, and then you listen all these people say, and then you agree. That means you insult yourself. You insult your intelligence. So this is the right thing to do. So they ask EC to resign. Who are they in the first place? If Yang di-Pertuan Agong, instructed EC to resign, that's valid because we are appointed by the Council of Rulers and endorsed and approved by the Yang di-Pertuan Agong within the framework of the Federal Constitution. But if these people who are not happy with election results are telling us to resign, I think they don't read the Constitution and they don't respect the laws in this country. And if, say, 500,000 people come into the street saying, we trust the Election Commission, we trust the election, then what will happen? You think the silent majority don't speak, meaning the silent majority agree with them? Supposing if the EC say, okay, everybody who trusts the election, everybody who agrees with the election result, who accepts the result, please come out and express. Supposing 500,000, 1 million come out every corner of the country. That is the majority speaks. So I think these people, they are taking things for granted. They feel that they got the stage and they start taking the mic and they can say anything they like. They're accusing this and that without any proof. If they have proof, get the proof, file election petition. As simple as that. They want to respect the law when it comes to their advantage, but they refuse to respect the law when something against them, to their disadvantage. So that is hypocrisy. And they have been misled by people which I thought is not responsible.
What are your thoughts on Che Gubat's threat for EC chairman to resign, otherwise he will be protesting in front of the EC HQ? What are your thoughts on that? Do you think this protest will actually damage further EC's reputation?
No, it's not. It's not, because EC established under the law. We are not like in some countries in Latin America, or perhaps in some young democracy in Central Asia, when the Soviet Union broke and then there were a lot of new democracies formed. We are not. We have been conducting general election since independence, So I think for these people to protest, I think at the end of the day, they will become the hooligans on the street. They will become the troublemakers, the law breakers, Because election panel, they come and go. They are appointed after certain age limit, they will have to go. But this is the system. The system will go. The Constitution says that is the system. The law says that is the system and the process. The person is just, they come and go. But if you want to improve, if you worried about the process of election in this country, go to the laws, go to the Constitution. You have voices in Parliament. That is the right thing to do. whoever comes to fill up the post of EC, this is the basis of documents that the EC, whether this EC or the new EC, or whoever become the chairman, whoever become deputy chairman, and the panel members, these are the laws. You see? But because they don't have any other strong justification and reasons, they will just pinpoint on individuals. They just say, oh, chairman, oh, deputy chairman, oh, they are biased. Biased, they want state of Selangor, they want Penang, they want 89 seats in parliament, they clean sweep, Datuk Ghani lost in Gelang Patah, the Menteri Besar who has served Johor for the past 30 years, lost in Gelang Patah. Datuk Ali Rastam, who has been Ketua Menteri Melaka, done so much for the state of Melaka. Almost everybody who became success in Melaka, I think in a way, helped by the administration of Datuk Ali Rastam. He lost. He lost to this Samsul. What kind of contribution and services that Samsul has done to Bukit Katil? You see, this is election. Sometimes people went to the ballot box, they don't use their reasons, they use their anger, they use their vengeance, This is what the unfortunate thing of electoral democracy in Malaysia. People are not well informed. People allow themselves to be exploited. So I think, you see, Datuk Raja Noncik, a minister who has, I think during the years of his heading the Ministry of Wilayah, I think so much has done to the people. I'm speaking as a voter. I see. But look at, as compared to what the winner has done to the people, aside that going ceramah every night accusing people, that's what these people have been doing. Ceramah, slandering, telling lies, inciting the feeling of anger, benci, kebencian. That's what it's all about. And the people who had done a good job, they just rejected. So, but I'm not talking politics, but I'm talking the reality. So they said election is not fair. They said EC chairman and EC deputy chairman is biased. Who are we? We just conduct the laws. We implement the laws. And if they feel that we did our job against the law, not in line with the expectation of the law, there is a court for them to file their election petition. Why can't this Malaysian think as intelligent, use their minds to think wisely? Why you allow a country to get into situation become so destabilized? These people are politicians. They have their agendas. They have to find all sort of justification, whether lying or slandering. To them, they are politicians. But we, the rakyat, we should respect the law. And I'm surprised the people of Petaling Jaya, the people of in Kuala Lumpur, supposed to be educated people, all college degrees, professional people, and yet they allow themselves to be cheated by this politicians who have their reason, their agenda. This one I don't understand. And they start pointing fingers on Election Commission without any proof, knowing fully well that there is an avenue for them to protest, and they ignore that avenue. Instead, they go to roadside, they go to join the illegal rallies. I was watching in the picture a parent bringing children. Can you believe it? They're talking about laws. They don't respect the law. They're talking about responsibilities. They are not responsible. So this is what's happening. You see? So please do not accuse EC or accuse the chairman or deputy chairman for not doing things according to the law. The fact that we conducted election in accordance with the law, that's why so much votes went to the opposition. You see? Because When it comes to the decision of election, there is nobody higher than the people as registered voter. They are the one who go to the polling station, cast their ballot in secrecy, put their ballots in the ballot box. At the end, the ballots are counted and the results are announced. So these are the things. So I think it is better for the country to move forward, and respect the law.
A specific date as to when the EC will gazette the election results, GE results?
We gazetted already. Okay? We gazetted already. We gazetted last Monday, I think. 22nd. 22nd of May, we gazetted. We worked very hard, The last general election, I remember it took us about 1 month to gazette the election results. This time around, because of people talking so much on the street about complaining the election result, not respecting election result, our officers working day and night, to check the details of election results based on the Form 16, the form that were read and declared by the respective returning officers across the country. We checked and then we gazetted on the 22nd. So starting from 23rd, that's the beginning of the 21 days that these political parties, it takes, the law says within 21 days, you have to file election petition if you protest the election results. And I read this morning, Party Pass had some constituencies for them to protest. BN Kelantan had some constituencies to protest, and PKR, according to the statements, they had almost 30. They said they wanted to protest, and I haven't heard the DAP who have been shouting so much, headed by Mr. Lim Kit Siang, protesting. I haven't heard how many constituencies they wanted to protest. So, and we, the EC, we are prepared. We know that we are working according to the law. We are not worried. The AG's chamber will be our panel lawyers to defend us in the court.
Datuk, one last question, I think. According to election observer, IDS, they've been saying that GE13 unfair and partially free. Can you comment on that, please?
I will meet IDS and CPPS very soon, because we are not still waiting this what I call observers reports from other NGOs. So far we got only reports from IDS and CPPS, and to be fair to us and to them, I think we will get the explanation, because the reports they put briefly, they put all the points are there, but again, we have to hear from them and we will explain, because the way I've gone through the reports factual, they are quite professional. I'm glad we selected them, we chose them as domestic observers. So when they concluded the report saying that partially free and it's not fair, so partially free, I would like to know what exactly partially free, what areas which are not free. Every registered voter came to polling station and got their ballot papers and they voted, and their ballots were counted. Nobody stopped the voters coming to vote except they themselves, the political party workers, the illegal unrecognized observers by these NGOs, probably the one who stopped the buses, who stopped a Malaysian who looked like Bangladeshi, who looked like Indian, they were the one who met the who stopped the voters coming from voting. So, as far as we are concerned, everybody who registered, they came and voted. The one who had not been able to vote, the one who had been stopped by them. So, and they said it's not free, partially free. They said partially free. Which part is not free? Is there any cases where the police stop them or the police intimidate them? And then was there cases where people were stopped from becoming candidates? People who submitted their nomination papers, if they are qualified under the laws, they became candidates. And did EC stop them from campaigning? People who comply with the law, with the requirement of the law, pay their election campaign material deposit, they campaign to the point that the party who did not participate also put up their campaign materials. For example, in Gelampata, none of the constituency in Gelampata that PKR contested. Gelampata Parliament, DAP, Nusa Jaya pass, Skudai DAP again, but PKR flags everywhere in Gelampata. So I don't understand when they said are not partially free. They are even free to put up the flags in area where they did not even contest. Then you talk about counting. Which part of the process of counting where the agents were chased out from the counting rooms? No. The counting was free. The agents was there watching from A to Z. And then at the end of the day, countersign all the forms, proving that everything was okay and acceptable. Was partially free. I need to sit down with Wan Saiful. I want to know. And then he said not fair. My God, which part the election was not fair? Probably he was referring to public media, I think. Public media is just a portion of the whole electoral process. You see? When you talk about campaigning, it's just one part of the electoral activities, campaigning. But nobody stopped political parties and candidates from campaigning. You look at what are being printed in the party organs, in the Harakah online, Harakah daily, in the Keadilan, in the Rocket. You see, you read every page what they talk, whether substantiated or not, with all the proofs and evidence. Everything under the sky, they will see anything. Was that free? You cannot find in a country like this kind of slanders. You know, people write anything against EC. Anything they accuse. Nothing is good about this country. You know. And you look at the bloggers, the activities of cyber troopers. You know, they tweeted anything, without checking the authenticity of the reports, to the point that I also received a Twitter which is completely slander and nonsense. They just got a telephone number, they just tweet. They don't care who actually. And this is the job of cyber troopers, which I call as a kind of slandering troop, pasukan penyebar fitnah. And now I think the term they use, the Red Bin Army, whatever. But I prefer to use pasukan penyebar fitnah. Dia sebar aja fitnah. Whatever their leader said, they just sebar.
So you condemning all cyber troopers, which in whichever side?
No, the cyber troopers which sebar fitnah. There are a lot of cyber troopers which telling the facts, the truth. There are a lot of portal news which are telling the truth, balanced reporting, telling both sides, you know. You, for example, one of them, I've been reading FMT. You are balanced.
Thank you so much.
Really. Otherwise, I didn't tell Cik Sabri to invite FMT. You balance, you cover both sides. This is what journalism is all about. When it comes to election, make the people well informed about both sides so that they make a wise decision at the ballot box. Okay? So, but a lot of porters, maybe few, not a lot, who just twisted facts, putting a wrong emphasis, trying to put a lot of doubts on certain things, which is not professional. And I don't want to meet this kind of people, because they have not been responsible journalism. They've not been doing responsible journalism. So, that is the thing. I will meet these ideas and CPPS. I am very interested. Not only me, because I happen to be the chairman of panel committee in charge of observers, election observers. And these people, I noticed, they didn't even respect me. So, when they communicated anything, they even bothered to send a copy to me. I think they already prejudge, They already very presumptuous. I would like to say point blank to Wan Saiful, you are talking to the wrong person sometime. Whereas I'm the chairman of the committee, panel committee in charge of election observers. I took the trouble to study all the 17 NGOs, and I was the one who really strongly recommended to get ideas and CPPS and Merdeka Center, because I considered them as a credible NGO, professional, I was the one. But when they communicated with EC, they ignorantly or whatever, they trying to put me away, They did not. I think these people, they lost their track already. So, but anyway, all the reports are coming to me. I'm going to meet them. I'm very honest. I'm very straightforward. I'm very professional. I want to talk facts for the benefit of the election commission. If you say election is not fair, please tell us. If you say election needs improvement, tell us. You see.